Just wanted to do a quick video for mainly, I guess, designers who aren't coders. And that's about the web editor that I use on my Windows desktop, which is called Pinegrow. It's a very small, as far as people who use it, editor goes. But in my search for editors, I wanted something that acted a lot like Dreamweaver, that I used Dreamweaver version 8. And I'm not into subscriptions per se, so Pinegrow does have a opportunity for you to buy the program once and use it forever, and upgrade it if you would like. So I just wanted to give a little intro on how I use it and how you might find it useful as well. It uses what's called projects, and these projects are basically a directory of all the files that are needed to power your website. So I'm just going to go with a new project here, and you'll see that it gives me a number of things to choose from. And part of the reason I also chose this is because Joomla uses Bootstrap, and I wanted to learn a little bit more about Bootstrap. So I'm going to choose a Bootstrap 5 blocks project. I'm going to choose something that's already in existence. So I'm going to go ahead and choose this one. And you'll see it'll just load this in for me. So if I want to save it, we'll need to save it as a project. So I'm going to go ahead and save it as a project here. Yeah. Okay, so once it's open now, it is, you can see I have all the assets, Bootstrap, and a number of other things. So how I use it is, for instance, I'm able to, you'll see once I select something here, it gives me a lot of the properties for it. And I can also choose to look at the actual code. So what Dreamweaver did for me that every other editor that I tested did not is let me click right in here and make a change live. And I could see it here, and then I could also see it over here. If I wanted to, I could go in here and change it as well, and then you will see it change. So this has been super helpful to me because I'm able to work a lot better in a WYSIWYG environment as opposed to just a code environment, which is what a lot of editors have. Now, the newest offerings have AI included, and that has just really sort of expanded on what I'm able to do with this. So let's go ahead and choose. We're going to go ahead and come over here. I'm going to look at the design panel where I could change the text to something else. And you'll see it makes a live change here. I can also then go back over to the, where's the AI panel? Did they move it on me? Here, one sec. Okay, and the interface changed around. I changed it to default interface, which I was used to having AI over here. Anyway, it's you're looking for this little magical wand, and you'll of course have to set this up with your API. However, it lets you interact with this design and by way of tasks, and it can be really helpful. So I went ahead and I have used it on a couple of things. Let me just show you them. So I have a client, and I'm not excited about the design that we have. So what I did was I went ahead and I made a project, and then I said file open URL, and this has been super helpful when I'm looking at sites that are live that maybe necessarily aren't mine, or I need to grab just certain information from them. I can open the URL. So I opened the URL of my client's site, And then I was able to save it into the project. And of course, it doesn't save all the resources. But then I was able to ask the AI to go ahead and choose certain parts of the original site that I wanted to keep. For instance, I wanted to keep this logo and I wanted to keep the text primarily. And so it has given me a way to go ahead and look at some different ideas. Now, the first one, I either didn't give it instructions properly or it didn't take for whatever reason, and it made this really nice site strictly by putting in a prompt, and it has all this information. And here's one that I was just showing where it did keep the logo and it did keep the information. And here I said, the other one is super bright, so I wanted to go ahead and make it sort of a darker, which then what it did was it made it kind of creepy looking. So then I had to tell it to go ahead and make it lighter. And let's see what it did on number 4. Okay, and here's where it just let me go ahead and have, this is pretty much what the current site looks like. And I'm able to go ahead and make some changes this way. Same thing with another site of mine. I just am feeling like it needs a little more oomph. So I went ahead and opened the URL, I saved it, and then I worked in the AI chat window to make some changes. And primarily what I wanted here was some different ideas for the background image. And so I did kind of like this background image versus what we currently have. And this one was interesting as well. And this one's, not worth it. But what it did is it made me have an opportunity to work with an existing design, give AI some specifics, and then see it in real time to see if I wanted to present it to the client or work with it further. And that's how I'm using it.